Papermaking. Wisam الهندريز, calligrapher and papermaker, Iraq. My love for papers emanated from the heart of my family. My elder brothers, my father and my uncles loved to collect books, to read and to delve into the depths of culture and art. As I was still a child, I found around me, at home, a lot of papers, a lot of books and a lot of notebooks, indeed. Perhaps this is how I started to develop my love for papers. Perhaps this is how I started to develop my love for the exploration of its various types and sources as well. As I was still a child, I grew up loving the smell of papers. I grew up loving to go through the pages and folds of books. I grew up in an atmosphere filled with books, resources, and newspapers. Perhaps this is how I started to develop my love for papers. Later on in life, and during my teen years in school, while we were blessed with all the books we used to have access to, I started to develop a love for the closeness to papers and their beautiful scent, an interest in all the books I even did not read. I was just a boy who loved to collect, to bind, and to own books. I was just a boy who realized that the quality of papers are of a great importance to the calligrapher and embosser alike. A professional calligrapher does not write on ordinary chemicals-made papers, but rather chooses the finest handcrafted paper made from natural material that can last for many long years to immortalize their masterpiece. Whereas the paper maker seeks to collect paper fibers from dedicated trees and plants, these fibers enjoy long-lived features, thus containing a non-chemical living substance that is neither affected by the weather nor by the humidity. For instance, the Holy Quran is never written on chemicals containing papers, given their perishable properties, thus becoming unreadable. In such a case, the calligrapher decides to use and write on natural, chemicals-free papers, allowing their masterpiece to live over 100 years to come, and highlighting one key characteristic of natural handmade papers. In this respect, it is noteworthy to mention that the preparation of paper pulp constitutes one of the key paper-making stages, thus requiring to exert great efforts so as to allow their fibers to become ready for such a manufacturing process, which does not take a specific time to be accomplished, but could be estimated at around half an hour. Large quantities may, however, take half an hour to produce more than 20 papers. The preparation of paper pulp constitutes, therefore, the stage that mostly takes more time, while the overall papermaking process is quite fast, thus producing large quantities in a relatively short period of time. Many fibers could be used in paper making. I personally would like to make papers out of linen fibers. Linen comes like this in such a way to produce ropes, fabrics, and other material. I use, transform, and grind the linen to come up with such a shape, all ready to be used in paper making. I will now show you a sample. Thereof, all material are ready and available for us to kickstart such a process. So let's take and put a defined quantity of this substance in water. Prior to placing and mixing an unspecified amount of the prepared starch therewith, the mixture must take this shape and is considered to be ready for the papermaking process. Following the fiber collection stage, the fibers must be filtered and cleaned from any unwanted impurities, which may hinder the calligrapher's work. Placed in a large basin of water, the fibers must subsequently be mixed therewith to come up with desired dough. The water could surely be mixed with natural colorants as the calligrapher desires. Following the removal of paper from the water basin, it should be subsequently placed on a cotton cloth and pressed until it becomes flat, soft, and light-weighted. As a calligrapher, I absolutely know the quality of papers one may need. To that end, I seek to press, filter, polish, purify, and smooth the paper, thus becoming ready to write on all comfortably. In 105 AD, the Chinese were the first to invent the very first paper in history. This was considered to be an achievement, thus representing a qualitative leap in human history. The first paper ever made thereafter took place in Baghdad at the time of Harun al-Rashid. Prior to reaching the Levant, the Hijaz, Yemen, and Damascus. Papers are made from simple material, available all around us, such as linen, cotton, and others.